Right now, as you listen to this, something is shifting inside you. You may not have the words for it yet. You may not even fully trust it. But somewhere in the quiet spaces between your thoughts, you have been feeling something that does not belong to the old version of you. A tingling at the crown of your head that comes without warning. A sudden flash of knowing about someone, a friend, a stranger, a person you haven't spoken to in years, and then confirmation arrives hours later. A pressure behind your forehead that pulses like a second heartbeat. Dreams that feel less like dreams and more like transmissions. Moments where you could swear you heard someone speak, but no one opened their mouth. You have been told these are nothing. Random neural firings, coincidence, stress, an overactive imagination. And so you dismissed them. You pushed them to the edges of your awareness and went back to the noise of your daily life. But they kept coming back. Stronger, clearer, more frequent. And now you are here, listening to this. Because some part of you already knows what these signs mean. What if I told you that the strange energy you have been feeling is not a malfunction? It is an activation. What if the reason you cannot explain these experiences using the language you were given is because the language you were given was never designed to describe what you are becoming? What if the tingling, the knowing, the pressure, the dreams, the silent voices are not symptoms of something going wrong, but evidence of something going profoundly, irreversibly right? You are not losing your mind. You are gaining access to a frequency that has always existed, a frequency that connects every conscious being on this planet in a web of silent communication, so vast, so intricate, so ancient, that the modern world had to bury it just to keep functioning the way it does. They buried it under materialism, under the doctrine of separation, under the insistence that your skull is a sealed vault and that the only real communication happens through words and screens. But the frequency does not care what they buried it under. It is rising now, and you are feeling it because you are ready to feel it. This is not about becoming something supernatural. This is about remembering something deeply, fundamentally natural, something so natural that every indigenous culture on Earth had a name for it. Something so natural that quantum physics is only now beginning to describe the mechanics of what shamans and mystics demonstrated thousands of years ago. You are tuning into the telepathic field, and by the time we reach the end of this journey together, you will not only understand what that means, you will feel it operating in your body, in your awareness, in the space between you and every person you encounter. You will understand why this ability was hidden. You will understand why it is returning now. And most importantly, you will understand that it was never really gone. It was just waiting for you to get quiet enough to hear it. Take a breath, a real one. Not the shallow, automatic kind that keeps your body running on autopilot, but a conscious breath. The kind that tells your nervous system you are safe. The kind that signals to every cell in your body that you are choosing presence over distraction. Let that breath move all the way down into your belly. Feel it expand. And as you exhale, let something go. Let go of what you think you know about the boundaries of your mind. Just for the next hour, let those walls become transparent. Good. Now let us begin where all real understanding begins. Not with answers, but with the demolition of a lie. You were taught, from the moment you could understand language, that your thoughts are private, that your mind is a sealed room, that no one can know what you are thinking unless you choose to tell them. This is perhaps the most pervasive and most damaging assumption in the entire architecture of modern consciousness. Not because it is completely false, but because it is just false enough to keep you blind to the truth. Your thoughts are not locked in your skull. They never were. Every thought you have ever had has produced a measurable electromagnetic signature. Your brain generates electrical fields with every firing of every neuron. Your heart produces an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body, a field that has been measured, mapped, and documented by institutions like the HeartMath Institute. These are not metaphors. These are not spiritual abstractions. These are measurable, repeatable, physical phenomena. But here is where it gets interesting. Here is where the science starts to whisper what the mystics have been shouting for millennia. These fields do not stop at the edge of the measurement equipment. They do not politely end where the instruments lose sensitivity. They extend. They radiate. They interact with the fields of every other living being in their vicinity. And at the quantum level, the very concept of distance begins to dissolve entirely. Think about quantum entanglement for a moment. Two particles that have interacted become correlated in such a way that measuring the state of one instantly determines the state of the other, regardless of the distance between them. Not at the speed of light. Instantly. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance because it violated everything he believed about locality and separation. He spent years trying to disprove it. He failed. Because it is real. It has been experimentally verified thousands of times. It is one of the most well-established phenomena in all of physics. Now hold that in your mind and ask yourself a question that mainstream science has been carefully avoiding. If particles can be entangled across infinite distance, and if your brain and heart are producing fields made of those same quantum particles, and if you have physically interacted with thousands of people throughout your life, exchanging photons, sharing electromagnetic space, breathing the same air, is it really so impossible that your consciousness could be entangled with theirs? This is not a leap of faith. This is a leap of logic that the scientific establishment simply has not been willing to make publicly, because the implications are too vast, too destabilizing. If human minds are not separate, if thoughts are not private, if consciousness is not locked inside individual skulls but is instead a shared field that we all swim in like fish in an ocean, then everything changes. Everything. The way we understand identity, the way we structure society, the way we relate to power, to privacy, to each other. Everything. And that is exactly why this knowledge was hidden. Not by a shadowy conspiracy, although there are certainly those who benefit from your ignorance. It was hidden by the sheer momentum of a civilization built on the assumption of separation. The assumption that you are here, I am there, and the space between us is empty. That assumption is the foundation of everything from economics to education to medicine. And it is wrong. The space between us is not empty. It is full. It is teeming with information, with frequency, with the silent conversation that never stops. If this is opening something in you right now, if you can feel the truth of this landing in your body, take a moment and hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so we can keep going deeper together into what really matters. You have felt this. You know you have. Think back to a moment when you walked into a room and immediately felt something heavy. No one had to tell you that an argument had just happened. No one had to explain that the people in that room were carrying anger or grief. You felt it. It landed in your body before your rational mind could even begin to analyze the visual cues. You felt it in your gut, in your chest, in the sudden tension of your shoulders. Or think about the opposite. Think about a time you were in the presence of someone deeply at peace. A grandparent, perhaps. A teacher. A stranger on a park bench who radiated something you could not name. You felt your own nervous system begin to settle. Your breathing slowed. Your thoughts quieted. Not because of anything they said, because of what they were transmitting. Because their field was coherent, and your field was responding to it. This is not intuition in the way pop psychology defines it. This is not your brain unconsciously reading micro-expressions and body language, although that is happening too. This is field-to-field communication. This is your bioelectric system receiving data from another bioelectric system through a medium that science is only beginning to acknowledge. And the reason you could feel it, the reason you have always been able to feel it, is that you were born with the hardware for telepathic reception. Every human being is. It is built into the architecture of your nervous system, your heart, your pineal gland, your fascia, your entire electromagnetic anatomy. The problem was never that you lacked the ability. The problem was that the ability was never trained. Worse than that, it was actively suppressed. From the moment you entered the education system, you were taught to prioritize the rationale, sans the verbal, the linear. You were taught that the only valid information comes through the 5 physical senses and the logical mind that interprets them. Anything else, any gut feeling, any flash of knowing, any sense that you were picking up on something invisible, was dismissed as fantasy. And so you learned to dismiss it too. You learned to distrust the very faculty that makes you most human. But here is what no one tells you. Suppression is not elimination. You cannot destroy a biological capacity by ignoring it. You can only push it underground. And underground is exactly where your telepathic sensitivity has been operating your entire life, running in the background like a program you never consciously opened, feeding you information you never consciously requested, shaping your decisions and your relationships in ways you never consciously recognized. Every time you had a bad feeling about someone and later discovered you were right. Every time you thought of a person moments before they contacted you. Every time you sensed danger before any physical evidence confirmed it. Every time you knew with absolute certainty that someone was lying to you, even though their words were perfect and their face was calm. That was not coincidence. That was your telepathic faculty operating despite every effort to shut it down. And now, something is changing. The suppression is lifting, not because someone gave you permission, not because the institutions that buried this knowledge have suddenly decided to release it. It is lifting because the frequency of the planet itself is shifting, because collective consciousness is reaching a threshold, because enough human beings have begun to wake up to the truth of their own nature, that the field itself is reorganizing. This is why the strange energy has been intensifying. This is why the signs are becoming impossible to ignore. You are not having a breakdown. You are having a breakthrough. And the breakthrough is not happening to you. It is happening through you. I want to pause here and ask you something. When did you first notice these signs in your own life? What was the moment you realized something was shifting that you could not explain? Drop it in the comments below because your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now to trust their own awakening. Let us talk about what this actually feels like in the body, because this is where the real recognition happens. Not in the theory, not in the science, not in the philosophy, but in the raw, undeniable physical experience of your own system coming online. The tingling. You have felt it. At the crown of your head, at the base of your skull, along the back of your neck, in your palms, at the soles of your feet. It comes in waves. Sometimes it is subtle, like a faint electrical current just beneath the skin. Sometimes it is intense, almost uncomfortable, like your entire scalp is alive with static. This is not random. This is your crown and third eye energy centers activating. These are the primary reception points for non-local information, the gateways through which your consciousness connects to the larger field. When they activate, you feel it physically because your nervous system is translating an energetic event into a sensory experience. The tingling is your body's way of saying, something is coming in. The pressure behind the forehead. This one is particularly significant. The area between and slightly above your eyebrows corresponds to the pineal gland, a tiny endocrine organ buried deep in the center of your brain that every ancient tradition identified as the seat of inner vision. Modern science knows that the pineal gland contains photoreceptor cells similar to those in your retina. It literally has the biological hardware to perceive light, even in total darkness. When this gland begins to activate, you feel pressure. Sometimes it throbs. Sometimes it feels like someone is gently pressing a thumb against the center of your forehead. This is not a headache. This is a recalibration. Your pineal gland is waking up from a long chemical sleep, a sleep induced by calcification from fluoride, by the blue light of screens, by the chronic overstimulation of the rational mind. As it decalcifies, as it comes back online, you begin to perceive information that does not arrive through your eyes or ears. You begin to see with the inner eye. And what the inner eye sees is the field, the sudden knowing. This is perhaps the most disorienting of all the signs, because it violates everything you were taught about how knowledge works. You were taught that knowledge comes from study, from evidence, from logical deduction, but suddenly you find yourself knowing things you have no rational basis for knowing. You know that your friend is pregnant before she tells you. You know that the meeting is going to be canceled before anyone sends the email. You know that the person sitting across from you on the train is carrying a deep grief, and you know this not because of their facial expression, but because you can feel it in your own chest. This is claircognizance, clear knowing, and it is one of the primary channels through which telepathic information arrives. It does not come as a voice. It does not come as a vision. It comes as a sudden, complete, fully formed understanding that drops into your awareness like a stone into still water. One moment you do not know, the next moment you do, and there is no process in between, no reasoning, no deduction, just arrival. If this has been happening to you, pay attention. This is not your imagination. This is your consciousness operating outside the boundaries of your individual skull, reaching into the field and pulling back information that is relevant to your experience. And the more you trust it, the more you act on it without demanding rational justification, the stronger it becomes. The channel widens. The signal clarifies. The knowing deepens. What we have touched on today, the field, the silent frequency, the channels of clear knowing, these are only the surface of a much vaster system. If you are ready to explore the complete framework, including the 9 master frequencies, the ascending currents of conscious transmission, and the step-by-step practices for moving from unconscious reception to deliberate embodiment, you will find all of it in my book, Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery. It is linked in the pinned comment below. Then there are the dreams. You have noticed that your dreams are changing. They are becoming more vivid, more structured, more meaningful. You are dreaming of people you have not seen in years, and then they appear in your life days later. You are dreaming of events before they happen. You are dreaming of places you have never been, and later recognizing them in waking life. You are having dreams that feel less like the random recycling of daily experience and more like deliberate communications from somewhere beyond your personal unconscious. This is because the dream state is the natural environment of telepathic communication. When your rational mind is offline, when the ego's constant narration finally pauses, the deeper channels open wide. The filter that keeps you focused on physical reality during waking hours relaxes, and you become permeable to the field. Information that was always available but blocked by your daytime mental noise floods in during sleep. This is why every mystical tradition placed such enormous importance on dreams, not as psychological curiosities, but as the primary medium of non-physical communication. And then there is the most subtle sign of all, and perhaps the most important: the growing sense that you are not alone in your own awareness. Not in a frightening way, not like an intrusion, more like a widening, as if the borders of yourself are becoming less defined, as if the sharp line between your thoughts and the thoughts of others is beginning to blur. You find yourself feeling emotions that do not match your circumstances. You are sitting in your living room, perfectly content, and suddenly a wave of anxiety washes through you that has no source in your own experience. Or you are in a crowd, and you feel a surge of joy that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. This is empathic resonance, and it is the first stage of conscious telepathic awareness. You are beginning to feel the field directly, without the buffer of intellectual interpretation. You are beginning to experience, in your own body, the emotional reality of the consciousness around you. And while this can be overwhelming at first, while it can feel like you are losing your boundaries, what is actually happening is far more profound. You are not losing yourself. You are discovering that yourself was always larger than you were told. Pause with that for a moment. Breathe into it. Feel what that statement does in your body. You are not losing yourself. You are discovering that yourself was always larger than you were told. This is the great secret that was kept hidden, not the mechanics of telepathy, not the techniques of mental projection, not the science of electromagnetic fields or quantum entanglement. The real secret, the one that changes everything, is that consciousness is not individual. It never was. The sense of being a separate self locked inside a separate body, having separate thoughts, was always a useful illusion, a necessary narrowing of perception that allowed you to function in a physical world that requires focused attention. But it was never the whole truth. The whole truth is that consciousness is a field, one field, undivided, and every individual mind is a localized expression of that field, the way a wave is a localized expression of the ocean. The wave has its own shape, its own height, its own momentum. It can be described, measured, and tracked as if it were a separate thing. But it was never separate from the ocean. It was always the ocean, moving. You are not a mind inside a body. You are the field, focused into a point of awareness. And when that point of awareness begins to relax its grip on the illusion of separation, when the boundaries soften and the walls become transparent, what rushes in is not foreign. It is the rest of you, the part of you that is also the person sitting next to you on the bus, the part of you that is also the tree outside your window, the part of you that is also the stranger on the other side of the planet who just had the same thought you had at the exact same moment. This is what telepathy actually is. It is not one separate mind reading another separate mind. It is one consciousness recognizing itself through two different points of awareness. It is the field talking to itself. And the reason it feels so strange, so disorienting, so impossible to explain within the framework you were given, is that the framework you were given was built on a lie. The lie of separation. Now let us go deeper. Because understanding this intellectually is only the first step. The real transformation happens when you begin to work with this truth in your body, in your energy, in the living fabric of your daily experience. There is a reason why the telepathic faculty activates most powerfully when you are calm. There is a reason why the signals come through most clearly when you are in nature, or in meditation, or in that liminal space just before sleep. It is because the frequency of telepathic communication is extraordinarily subtle. It operates on a bandwidth that is completely drowned out by the noise of the stressed, distracted, overstimulated modern mind. Think of it this way. Imagine you are standing next to a waterfall. The roar is deafening. Someone is standing on the other side of the waterfall, whispering your name. The whisper is real. The sound waves are reaching your ear, but you cannot hear them because the waterfall is too loud. This is what your mind is like when it is caught in the default mode of modern existence. The constant scroll, the endless inner monologue, the low-grade anxiety that hums beneath everything. The telepathic signal is always there, but the waterfall of mental noise drowns it out completely. So the first and most essential practice is not a technique of projection or reception. It is the cultivation of inner silence. Not the silence of suppression, where you force your thoughts to stop. That creates more noise, not less. But the silence of expansion, where you widen your awareness until the thoughts become small, like distant birds in a vast sky. They are still there, but they no longer fill the entire space. And in the space that opens around them, the whisper becomes audible. This is why meditation is not optional for anyone walking this path. Not meditation as a stress relief tool. Not meditation as a productivity hack. Meditation as a radical act of perceptual expansion. When you sit in stillness and allow your awareness to settle, you are not doing nothing. You are doing the most important thing a human being can do. You are creating the conditions for the field to speak to you directly. And here's what begins to happen when you practice this consistently. At first, the silence feels empty, uncomfortable even. Your mind, so accustomed to constant stimulation, interprets silence as absence. It panics. It generates thoughts just to fill the void. But if you stay with it, if you keep returning to the stillness without forcing anything, the silence begins to change. It stops feeling empty and starts feeling full of presence, full of awareness, full of a subtle, shimmering aliveness that has no content but infinite depth. This is the field. You are feeling the field directly. And once you can feel it, once you can rest in it, once you can distinguish between the noise of your own mind and the living silence beneath it, the telepathic faculty opens like a flower in sunlight. It does not require effort. It does not require strain. It requires only the absence of obstruction. Let me share something with you about how this works in practice, because the theory means nothing if it does not land in your lived experience. You are in a conversation with someone. Instead of doing what you normally do, which is listening to their words while simultaneously preparing your response, you try something different. You let go of the need to respond. You let go of the need to analyze. You let go of the need to categorize what they are saying as right or wrong, interesting or boring, relevant or irrelevant. You simply become present to them, not to their words, to them, to the living field of consciousness that is expressing itself through their voice, their eyes, their gestures, their energy, and you breathe slowly, deeply. You allow your awareness to soften, to expand beyond the narrow focus of linguistic processing. You let your attention rest not on what they are saying, but on what they are feeling. And you do not try to figure out what they are feeling. You do not analyze their body language or interpret their tone. You simply open. You become permeable. You let their field touch yours without resistance. And then something happens. Something that cannot be explained by psychology or neuroscience or any framework built on the assumption of separate minds. You begin to feel what they feel, not as an intellectual inference, as a direct experience in your own body. Their sadness appears in your chest. Their excitement quickens your pulse. Their confusion clouds your thinking. And beneath all of that, beneath the surface emotions, you begin to sense something deeper. Their intention, their unspoken need, the thing they are trying to say but cannot find the words for. This is telepathic reception. And it is happening not because you are doing something extraordinary, but because you have stopped doing the thing that ordinarily prevents it. You have stopped generating noise. You have become still enough to hear the whisper. Now, there is something critically important we must address here, because this is where many people who begin to awaken this faculty make a mistake that costs them dearly. When you begin to feel the thoughts and emotions of others, when the boundaries between your inner world and theirs begin to dissolve, there is a temptation. The temptation to use this awareness as a tool of power, to read people in order to gain advantage over them, to know their weaknesses so you can exploit them, to project thoughts into their minds to bend them to your will. Let me be absolutely clear about this. That path leads to destruction, not metaphorical destruction, not karmic punishment in some distant afterlife. Real, tangible, experiential destruction of your own consciousness. Here is why. The telepathic field operates on a principle of resonance. Like attracts like. When you use your awareness of the field to manipulate another being, you are broadcasting the frequency of manipulation into the very medium through which all your own perceptions flow. You are poisoning your own water supply. You are corrupting the channel through which truth reaches you. And the result is not that you become more powerful. The result is that you become more deceived. Your own intuition begins to distort. Your own knowing becomes unreliable. You start misreading the field, seeing threats where there are none, missing dangers that are right in front of you. You become paranoid, isolated, and eventually unable to distinguish between genuine telepathic information and the projections of your own corrupted mind. This is not a moral warning. This is a description of mechanics. The field is not neutral in the way a tool is neutral. The field is alive. It is conscious. It responds to the quality of your intention with the quality of information it returns to you. Approach it with reverence, with humility, with a genuine desire to understand and to heal, and it opens to you like a vast library of infinite wisdom. Approach it with greed, with the desire to control, with the intention to take what is not freely given, and it mirrors that back to you in the form of confusion, deception, and progressive disconnection from truth. This is why every authentic tradition that taught these abilities also taught ethics, not as an add-on, not as a set of rules imposed from outside, as an integral part of the technology itself. The ethics are not separate from the ability. They are the ability. A consciousness that is not aligned with truth cannot perceive truth. A mind that is not at peace cannot receive the transmissions of peace. A heart that is closed to compassion cannot feel the field of compassion that connects all beings. So before you go any further, before you practice any technique, before you attempt to develop this faculty 1 degree beyond where it already is, ask yourself this question, and do not answer it quickly. Sit with it. Let it penetrate. Why do you want this? What is your deepest, most honest motivation for wanting to feel the thoughts and emotions of others? Is it curiosity? Is it power? Is it loneliness? Is it a genuine desire to serve, to heal, to understand? Whatever your answer is, do not judge it, but be honest about it. Because the field will respond to your actual intention, not the intention you perform for others or even for yourself. It reads the frequency beneath the words, and it responds accordingly. Tell me in the comments, what is your honest answer to that question? Not the polished version, but the real one. What is truly driving you toward this awakening? Your honesty might unlock something not just for you, but for everyone reading those words. If your intention is pure, if it comes from love, from the desire to dissolve the illusion of separation, not for personal gain, but because the separation itself is the source of all suffering, then what opens before you is beyond anything you can currently imagine. Because the telepathic field is not just a communication network, it is the fabric of reality itself. And when you learn to move with it rather than against it, when you learn to listen rather than extract, when you learn to harmonize rather than dominate, you do not just read minds, you begin to participate consciously in the creation of reality. Let that land. This is where everything changes. This is where we move from the concept of telepathy as a psychic ability, a neat trick, a paranormal phenomenon, into the understanding of telepathy as a fundamental mode of being. The way consciousness was always meant to operate before the narrowing, before the forgetting, before the long sleep of separation. Let us go deeper still. There is a practice that has been used by contemplatives and mystics across every tradition, though it goes by different names. In essence, it is this. You sit in stillness. You bring your awareness to your heart center, the space in the middle of your chest. Not the physical heart, though they share the same neighborhood. The energetic heart, the place where you feel love, where you feel grief, where you feel the deepest truths about your own existence. You breathe into that space, slowly, gently. With each inhale, you imagine that space expanding, not as a visualization exercise, not as a mental trick, but as an actual energetic movement. You are widening the field of your heart. You are increasing its coherence. You are turning up the amplitude of the most powerful electromagnetic transmitter in your body. And then you do something that sounds simple, but is, in practice, one of the most profound acts a human being can perform. You think of someone, not with your mind, with your heart. You do not analyze them. You do not remember facts about them. You feel them. You feel their essence, the quality of their being that exists beneath their name, their face, their story. You feel them the way you feel a piece of music that moves you to tears, not as information, but as resonance. And you hold that feeling. You let it build. You let it fill your chest until it feels like your heart is going to overflow. And then you release it. Not toward them, not at them, You simply release it into the field. You let it go the way you let go of an exhale, completely, without attachment, without expectation, without any need for it to arrive or to be received or to produce a result. And then you wait. In the silence, in the stillness, in the wide open space of your own expanded awareness. What happens next cannot be predicted. It cannot be controlled. It cannot be manufactured, but it can be experienced. And when it happens, you will know with every cell of your body that consciousness is not local, that the mind is not confined to the skull, that the heart is not confined to the chest, that you are not confined to your body, because something will come back. A feeling, an image, a knowing. Something that is unmistakably not from you and yet arrives through you. Something that carries the signature of the person you were holding in your heart. Their joy, their pain, their question, their answer. It arrives not as language but as lived experience, as if for one brief moment, the boundary between your consciousness and theirs dissolved completely, and you were both the same awareness, looking at itself from two different angles. This is the telepathic field. This is what it feels like to touch it directly. And once you have felt it, once you have experienced even a single moment of this kind of connection, the old world, the world of separation, the world of isolated minds and private thoughts and unbridgeable distances between human beings, that world can never fully reassemble itself in your consciousness. You have seen through it. You have felt through it. And there is no going back. But there is going forward. And going forward means learning to live in this new reality. Learning to navigate a world where you can feel what others feel, where you can sense what others think, where the boundaries that once defined your identity are becoming increasingly transparent. This is not easy. It is not always comfortable. And it requires a kind of inner strength that has nothing to do with willpower and everything to do with surrender. Because here is the paradox at the heart of this entire journey. The more you try to control the telepathic faculty, the less it works. The more you grasp at it, the more it recedes. The more you try to make it perform on command, the more it goes silent. This is because telepathy is not a function of the ego. It is a function of the deeper self, the self that exists beneath the ego, beneath the personality, beneath the story you tell about who you are. And that deeper self does not respond to force. It responds to trust. It responds to openness. It responds to the willingness to not know, to not control, to not have answers, and to remain present anyway. This is the master's silence, not the silence of someone who has nothing to say. The silence of someone who has realized that the deepest communication happens without words. The silence of someone who has learned to listen with their entire being. The silence of someone who has discovered that the most powerful thing they can do in any situation is to become so still, so present, so coherently aligned with the field, that truth simply reveals itself without effort. You have met people like this. You may not have recognized what they were doing, but you felt its effect. They walked into a room and the room changed, not because they said anything brilliant, not because they performed any dramatic action, because their presence was so coherent, so aligned, so deeply rooted in the field, that it reorganized the energy around them. Arguments dissolved, confusion cleared. People felt seen without being looked at, heard without being spoken to, understood without being analyzed. This is what you are becoming. This is what the strange energy is preparing you for. Not the ability to read minds like a party trick. The ability to be so deeply present, so fully connected to the field of consciousness, that you become a living bridge between the seen and the unseen, the spoken and the unspoken, the known and the unknown. And the world needs this. More than it needs more information, more than it needs more technology, more than it needs more solutions generated by the same level of consciousness that created the problems. The world needs human beings who can feel each other, who can sense the truth beneath the noise, who can hold space for the unspoken pain and the unacknowledged beauty that exists in every single person walking this earth. That is what you are being called to. That is what the tingling and the knowing and the pressure and the dreams are pointing you toward. Not power over others, presence with others. Not the ability to extract information from someone's mind. The ability to meet them in the field where all minds are one, and to offer them something that no amount of words can provide. The experience of being truly, completely, wordlessly known. Let us talk about what to do with all of this. Because understanding is not enough. Insight without integration is just entertainment. And you did not come here to be entertained. You came here to be transformed. The first thing to do is to stop pathologizing your experience. Stop telling yourself that the strange energy is a problem to be solved. Stop Googling your symptoms looking for a diagnosis. Stop asking other people to validate what you are feeling. The validation is in the feeling itself. Your body is not malfunctioning. Your mind is not breaking. Your consciousness is expanding, and expansion always feels uncomfortable to the structures that were built for a smaller version of you. The second thing to do is to create space. Physical space, mental space, temporal space. The telepathic faculty cannot develop in a consciousness that is constantly full. If every moment of your day is filled with input, with screens, with noise, with obligation, with stimulation, there is no room for the subtle signals to register. You need silence, not as a luxury, as a necessity. You need time alone with your own awareness, time when you are not consuming anything, not producing anything, not performing anything. Time when you are simply being. This is where the channel opens. This is where the field speaks. The third thing to do is to practice heart coherence every day, not as a meditation technique, but as a way of being. Throughout your day, as often as you remember, bring your awareness to your heart center. Breathe into it. Feel it. Let it soften. Let it open. And from that open heart, feel your connection to the field. Feel the invisible threads that link you to every person in your life, to every person in your city, to every conscious being on this planet. You do not need to do anything with this feeling. You do not need to send anything or receive anything. Just feel the connection. Just acknowledge that it exists. Just let your heart be the antenna it was designed to be. The fourth thing, and this is the one most people resist, is to feel what you feel without trying to determine whether it is yours. This is the great challenge of empathic and telepathic awakening. When emotions arise that seem to come from nowhere, the habitual response is to either claim them as your own and create a story around them, or to reject them as irrational and push them away. Neither response serves you. Instead, try this. When an emotion arrives, especially one that seems disconnected from your current circumstances, simply notice it. Name it if you can. sadness, anxiety, joy, longing, and then ask, not with urgency, but with gentle curiosity, is this mine? You do not need an answer. The asking itself changes your relationship to the emotion. It creates a space between you and the feeling, a space in which you can be present to it without being consumed by it. And in that space, information often reveals itself. You may suddenly think of a specific person. You may get a flash of an image. You may simply know, without knowing how you know, that what you are feeling belongs to someone else's experience, and that your awareness of it is not a burden, but a bridge. The fifth practice is the most radical of all. It is the practice of sending without attachment. Choose someone in your life, someone you care about, someone who is struggling. Do not tell them what you are doing. Sit in stillness. Bring them into your heart. Feel them. And then from the deepest place of love you can access, send them a single, simple feeling. Peace. Safety. You are not alone. Do not visualize it as a beam of light or a golden arrow or any other dramatic image. Just feel it. Feel peace. Feel safety. Feel the truth that they are not alone. And let that feeling radiate from your heart, the way warmth radiates from a fire, without direction, without force, without any need for it to be received. And then let it go, completely. Do not check for results. Do not ask them the next day if they felt anything. Do not attach your identity to the outcome. Just let it go and trust that the field knows what to do with what you offered. This is the practice of the silent frequency. This is how you develop the telepathic faculty, not as a power, but as a prayer. Not as a skill, but as a surrender. Not as something you do, but as something you become. Because in the end, that is what all of this is really about. It is not about reading minds. It is not about predicting the future. It is not about gaining some supernatural advantage in a competitive world. It is about waking up to the truth of what you are. And what you are is not a separate self, struggling alone in a hostile universe. What you are is consciousness itself, temporarily focused into a human form, temporarily experiencing the illusion of separation, and now, in this moment, beginning to remember that the boundaries were never real, that the walls were never solid, that the silence between human beings was never empty, that every thought you have ever had was heard by the field, that every feeling you have ever felt was felt by the field, that you have never, not for one single moment of your entire existence, been truly alone. The strange energy you are feeling is the remembering. The tingling is the remembering. The knowing is the remembering. The dreams are the remembering. The dissolving boundaries are the remembering. You are not becoming telepathic. You are remembering that you always were. And as you remember, as more and more human beings remember, the field itself transforms. The collective consciousness shifts. The frequency of the planet rises, not through effort, not through force, not through any grand external action, through the simple, quiet, revolutionary act of one consciousness recognizing itself in another, through the silent frequency that was always there, waiting for you to get still enough to hear it. Consider coming back to this recording each morning before the noise of the day begins, and let it reset your frequency. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, someone who has been feeling these same unexplainable shifts, share this with them. When you pass this awareness forward, you are not just sending a video. You are extending the field itself, creating a resonance between two awakening minds that amplifies the signal for both of you and strengthens the very telepathic web we have been talking about. So the next time you feel that tingling at the crown of your head, do not dismiss it. The next time you know something before you should know it, do not explain it away. The next time you feel an emotion that is not yours, do not push it down. The next time you sense the unspoken truth beneath someone's words, do not pretend you did not hear it. Instead, breathe, soften, open, and listen. The field is speaking. It has always been speaking. And now, finally, you are learning to hear. If something in this resonated with you, if you felt it not just in your mind, but in your body, in your heart, in that place beneath words where truth lives, then you are already on the frequency. You are already part of the shift. Stay here. Go deeper. Let this be not just something you listen to, but something you live. Come back to these words when the noise of the world gets loud again. Come back to the silence when you forget. And share this with someone who is feeling the strange energy too. Someone who needs to know that they are not losing their mind, but finding their way home. Subscribe to this channel, not for content, for connection, for the reminder that you are not alone in this awakening, for the frequency that gathers here when consciousness recognizes itself. The silent frequency is not something you tune into, it is something you are, and now you know. And to go even deeper into how your awareness shapes the reality around you, watch once you activate your third eye. Reality shifts forever, where you will learn exactly how the pineal gland activation we discussed today permanently alters the way you perceive and interact with the quantum field.